If you are a new YouTuber like myself and you're looking for equipment upgrades or what equipment you should be buying or getting advice on lighting, audio, cameras, that kind of stuff, there are currently thousands, probably tens of thousands of videos already out there which go over this in great detail. But I don't think what any of them do is not only show you the gear they recommend, but also in the same video, what settings they use for the gear they're then recommending. And that's what I'm gonna try and accomplish with this video. It's gonna be a comprehensive look at all of the equipment I use as a small YouTuber, how much I paid, what deals I got, where I got it from, and hopefully this can help you out if that's something you're looking for. So stick around, welcome to my living room, let's have a chat. Hello everybody and welcome. My name is UK and today's video we're going to do an in-depth guide and tour of all of the equipment that I use to produce my YouTube videos as a small YouTuber. I mostly do talking head stuff. I sit in front of my camera here in my living room and produce talking head content. So while my setup and equipment is kind of specialized towards that, it can be tailored to any filming situation, and I purchased equipment specifically that would scale with me and my video ideas. So getting into the meat and bones of a YouTube channel, and in my opinion the most important part of a YouTube channel is the video quality. Now there are thousands of cameras, there are thousands of lenses, there are thousands of options. You'll find the majority of people recommend this camera, specifically the Sony ZV-E10. This camera has been around for many years now. It is a 4K 30 FPS camera that you can change the lenses. It has interchangeable lenses. It is probably the best bang for your buck camera you can get, but because it's been out a while, there are some crazy deals to be had. If you're on a budget and you're looking for a deal on the Sony ZV-E10, you don't want to buy it new, check out your local marketplace, Craigslist, Facebook, you name it. This camera's been around so long that there are many used copies floating around. So while the current retail price on this camera is about $800, I believe, with the kit lens, you can actually pick this camera up with the kit lens for around $500 on a marketplace. The one I am shooting with right now, I picked up for $500. It was like new condition, didn't have a blemish on it, and I couldn't be happier. Now the reason we go with the Sony ZV-E10 is, well, there are many reasons, but let me tell you my reasons. The autofocus. The autofocus on these Sony cameras is just truly incredible. It's got several different autofocus modes, but primarily you set it to continuous autofocus and then track an eye for specific talking head videos or following around. It will always lock on, stay on the eye, and should never really lose focus. That's the biggest and most important for me. The second most important thing is its low light capabilities. Now this is something Sony cameras are specifically well known for. Their low light performance with a good lens it's up there. Again, price to performance, it's going to be really difficult to beat the Sony ZV-E10 in this regard. Finally, lens selection. The lens selection for this camera is immense. So unlike Canon, Sony have an open ecosystem for their mount, and you can buy third-party lenses, which I'm going to get into, for a lot cheaper than the competition lenses. And for a new YouTuber or somebody looking to up their camera gear, this for me is the killer deal. This is the main number one reason why, again, I would recommend the Sony ZV-E10. So let's talk about the lens. The lens that comes in the box with the Sony ZV-E10 is mediocre at best. My advice, if you buy new, just skip the kit lens and go for the lens that I'm about to recommend. While the kit lens is okay in outdoor situations with nice even light, as soon as you try and use it indoors, unless you've got like really good control over the lighting conditions, it's not going to work out too great. You're going to get a lot of noise. You're certainly not going to get any kind of background blur, any bokeh, anything like that. So save a few dollars, buy the body only. If you're buying new, buy the body only, and then switch to this lens. This is the Viltrox 1.4 23mm. This lens is truly bonkers good. Price to performance, this lens, hands down, wins every time. You will not find a better lens specifically for everyday use, YouTube, photography, you name it, than this one. This is a special lens. This is a 1.4 aperture lens, so it will allow you to get really, really, really clean video in low light situations. It picks up all the detail in darker situations. There are some drawbacks I'll go into here in a minute, but the most important part is this lens cost me $170 on Facebook Marketplace. $170. This is the most best price to performance piece of equipment you could possibly buy, in my opinion. The quality of image you're going to get from this lens and this camera when you set it up properly, it's going to equivalent that of a much, much, much more expensive camera and lens combo. I truly love every single thing about this lens, and going from the kit lens to something like this is night and day. So all in so far, we're talking ZV-E10 used on Marketplace for around $500. Then this lens, the Viltrox f1.4 23mm. You can easily find these for $200 on Facebook Marketplace. If you want to buy this brand new with warranty, $270 currently. Again, I wouldn't look at any other lens until you've at least tried this one, and if you're not happy, send it back. But I think you'll be happy with this lens. This is the best all-round lens for just about any situation. If you just need one good lens, start with this one. Don't make the mistake that I did with a whole bunch of expensive glass that is very scenario dependent. I've used this lens for almost everything. All my other lenses kind of sit in my camera bag. Okay, so $700 we're at with the camera and the lens. What audio? Well, right now I'm talking to you through a shotgun mic. I am talking to you through the Rode videomicro. And this is the new version. I believe it's the Rode videomicro 2. I've just purchased this within the last couple of months. And it's doing great. I needed a shotgun mic for my talking head videos. And I didn't want to spend too much money because, unfortunately, again, I'm in a really, really large open space here, and I need to do a lot of post work to all of my audio. So with the shotgun mic, it's going to get all the reverb, all the echo, and it's going to pick up a lot of the outside noise, airplanes, cars, people walking by, things like that. So the $70 Rode videomicro 2, knowing that I'm going to go in and have to do some post-production work to the audio has been just a really great little mic for me so far. I am going to upgrade it later down the line. There are mics that handle reverb a little bit better, but for starting out, for $70, it's a plug-and-play solution. You plug it straight into the camera. You don't need any external recording. It just records directly, and it sounds fantastic. Go over the settings that I'm using specifically for this combination. We have the Sony ZV-E10 with the Viltrox f1.4mm lens at 23mm. The ZV-E10 is currently set at f1.4, which is the lowest aperture it'll go, which will give us that nice bokeh in the background and nice, clear, sharp image up front. So that is f1.4. The shutter speed is 1/50. because I record in 4K 24 frames. So the rule of thumb, if you shoot in 24, you do 1/50. If you're shooting in 4K 30 frames, you would do 1/60. That leads me nicely onto the next topic, which is lighting. So sticking with the current settings I'm using for the ZV-E10, I have my white balance manually set at 4600, and I have my key light and my fill light both also set at 4600. This camera is currently in complete complete manual mode. It has an intelligent auto function built in. I wouldn't use this for this style of video. However, if you go outdoors with this lens and you want to point and shoot and go, the intelligent auto on the Sony ZV-E10 is pretty fantastic. The only thing I've found it struggles with is the white balance, obviously dealing with cloud cover when clouds change the brightness of the sunlight. It does struggle a little bit to catch up with the white balance. So I am in a very controlled room right now, so my lighting is very specific. You know, we got 4600K, 4600K, and then I have some accent lights behind me. And these accent lights, you can go crazy with those. Whatever color you choose, spice up your background a little bit, make your background look nice, especially in a dark room. I know a lot of YouTubers go for this effect. They can go for a cinematic effect with orange and blue. But the lights I use specifically are the newer, or N-E-E-W-E-R, newer, small magnetic RGB lights that have Bluetooth control. And the best part of this is you can control them remotely with your phone. You can change the color, the RGB, the brightness, and so on and so forth. So my workflow is I turn my lights on through my app on my phone, sit down, I'm ready to record, press record, and away we go. It's a nice seamless workflow, and the newer RGB small lights that I got, they were $30 each on Amazon. I got 2 of them, and they're just absolutely fantastic for the price, for what I paid for them. They get really bright, they do full spectrum RGB, they're magnetic. I currently have one magnetized to my railing to my right. I highly recommend these little lights. Moving on to my main light, my key light, I am going to get a softbox. I don't have a softbox yet. I wanted to just use LED to begin with. LEDs, traditionally cheaper and cheaper to run. I did splash out a little bit. My fill light, this is the newer RGB Wi-Fi Bluetooth fill light. And this light is truly way overkill for my situation. Right now, I currently have this fill light set to 6% brightness. And as you can see, it's more than adequate. Basically, the power of the sun in this light, it was $160 when I purchased this light. But I got this one specifically because this one has a bunch of RGB effects built into it. And when I do get my softbox, the next step for this light will be adding practical lighting behind me. And I'll give you an example. There's a police and ambulance siren effect, the red and blue. There's a lightning effect. There's all kinds of fun elements that you can do in the background to kind of just spice things up a little bit. So I spent a little bit more, but I knew that I was going to be using this for the long run. So that was my reasoning behind going for this light. And again, the settings are 4600K, 6% brightness. So if you're going to replicate this studio, if you're going to replicate this setup, there are the camera settings. That is the camera that I use and highly recommend. The lens, the microphone, and the lights to achieve this look. The beauty of this setup is you can get the whole thing for under $1,000. That's quite a lot, especially in today's economy. $1,000 is a big investment. However, the good thing about the majority of the things I spoke about is they retain their value a lot. So say you do invest $1,000 into your startup YouTube and it doesn't work out, or you just don't enjoy it, or something happens. You can put your camera, the lens, the microphone, the lights, all of the things we've talked about straight back on the marketplace. Just take a little bit of a loss, but you'll get the majority of your money back. It's quite a sound investment. These Sony cameras and these viltrox lenses, they really do hold their value quite well. So that's my advice. For my tripod, I have a really cheap $50 Amazon tripod. It has a ball head. It has leveling guide, so I can make sure my camera's level. One other thing I should probably mention is I bought a cage for my ZV-E10, and the reason for that is switching between handheld and going back and forth on the tripod. Most tripods come with a quick release that you screw into the bottom of your camera, and you just leave that on. Unfortunately, with the ZV-E10 and all the quick releases I tried, they were quite wobbly. So you put your camera down, it would just fall over. The beauty of having a camera cage, I use the small rig camera cage for the ZV-E10, is it has the tripod connection built in. And it's got a lot sturdier base, but it also offers additional functionality in terms of another cold shoe. So if you wanted to mount a light to your camera as well as your microphone, or you wanted to bolt on a handle so you could hold your camera securely for panning shots and things like that. It was $50, the small rig cage for the ZV-E10. Highly recommended. It beefs up the grip a lot. The ZV-E10 it's a very small camera. If you've got big hands and you're holding the ZV-E10, having the cage on there, it really does beef up the grip of the Sony ZV-E10. So that's the tripod, the lighting, the audio, the camera, and the lens. Again, was still, I think, under $1,000 if you shop clever, if you shop smart. If you don't and you want to buy all this stuff new, I've left affiliate links down below. I do get a kickback if anybody ever buys anything from those, so full disclaimer on that. However, everything that I've talked about and shown in this video is down there below. I'm a new YouTuber, and so far I'm really enjoying it. The feedback's been great. I'm learning as I go too, so if any of you guys have gear recommendations or anything like that, feel free to let me know in the comments. I hope this video was useful. I've been watching many gear videos over the last couple of months, and this is where I ended up, and I'm really proud. I'm really proud of the videos I can produce with this equipment, and it's seemingly serving me well so far. So yeah, if you enjoyed this video, please consider liking down below, maybe leave me a comment, consider subscribing. Thank you so much for watching. I've been UK. You've been fantastic. I will see you in the next one.